going on, everybody? Welcome back to another LEGO YouTube video. Today we're going to be kind of doing a different type of video today, so definitely let me know what y'all think of this at the end of the video. But we have tons of empty space in the LEGO room, and throughout 2024 my goal is to hopefully fill up most of these empty spots in my LEGO collection around like all of these different shelves. There's room for a few more LEGO sets, and so what I'm going to be doing today is kind of discussing my most hyped. Some are new sets for 2024, some are ones that are retired and ones that came out last year, but today we're going to be discussing some LEGO sets that I am really excited to get my hands on in the year of 2024, kind of going over my plan for what big LEGO sets I am going to buy for the year and making a nice little plan to see if I'll be able to actually purchase all of these. The goal is by the end of the year that I'll have all these in my collection, but we'll actually see if that happens or not. But let's just go ahead and get into the first LEGO set that I'm hoping to add to my collection this year. And the first set kind of on my 2024 LEGO wish list is actually the 2016 iteration of the LEGO Death Star. I feel like LEGO Star Wars fans love this set. When you think of LEGO Star Wars, I feel like for a lot of people, the first thing that comes to mind is either the 2008 or the 2016 Death Star. It's just one of the most iconic LEGO Star Wars sets, and I feel like this is one of the big ones that's missing from my LEGO collection. I've got a lot of the other really notable releases, and I think this is the big one, the big white whale that I hope to add to it. It's got so many cool scenes inside of it. It's such a nice looking display model. It's an icon, and not only just like LEGO Star Wars, but just LEGO in general. I feel like when you think of LEGO, you think of the LEGO Death Star, I think. So I'm really excited to add this to my collection. It is very expensive though, which is why I'm kind of doubtful, but the reason I prefer the 2016 one is because of the minifigures. I think the 2008 minifigures are definitely a bit more dated. The models look very similar, and I would end up putting it right here in this empty space, though the Death Star is very expensive, so I might hold off until May the 4th, but I would really like it to put it over here because I could have it next to the throne room diorama and some Return of the Jedi stuff. So I think that would really come together very nicely, and we probably might have space for some more sets right next to it too, and I think it would fit in nicely with this. And then the next set that I hope to get in 2024, this will actually kind of complete my LEGO modular buildings collection. I expanded my shelf a few weeks back to make space for one more modular, and I want that to be the Grand Emporium set. I have a lot of nostalgia for this set, and I really wanted another corner building to add to my modular building collection because I have 3. I wanted a 4th one to kind of be able to have a nice little street going on, and I thought this was probably the best one to integrate into the LEGO collection. There's a lot of nostalgia for this one, and I also think it'll blend in very nicely with the LEGO sets that I already have. And when I was younger, I was always flipping through the catalogs and always saw the Grand Emporium inside of those, and I always wanted it. I love the interior too. It's got this kind of nice shopping mall look to it. I love all of the details with the mannequins, and then when you get to the second floor, there's even like a bunch of cool kind of like plates for sale and stuff. So it's a very nice LEGO modular building, and I like how this integrates with some of the other modulars from this era. I think it'll look good with the pet shop and the Palace Cinema, so I'm excited for that. And then another bit of nostalgia too is when I would play through LEGO City Undercover, I would always see it in the streets. It just always stuck out to me. I was like, oh, that's the Grand Emporium modular building. So that kind of contributed to me wanting this set so badly too, and I just think it'll look really great in the LEGO collection. I think I might move the Palace Cinema over because if you take a closer look at the Assembly Square, the roof of the Assembly Square actually takes inspiration from the Grand Emporium, and I think having the Grand Emporium on the other side of that Assembly Square would look really nice, and I think the Palace Cinema looks better from this other side too. And then another one of my kind of dream sets for the year that's also very expensive, a similar price range for the Death Star. I'm thinking it's either going to be this or the Death Star that I get this year. In an ideal world, we might be able to get both, but I am trying to kind of cut back on my LEGO spending as I'm making this like huge list here. But the UCS AT-AT is a very impressive UCS LEGO Star Wars set. It's probably one of the most iconic ones. It's got a very nice interior inside of it where you can fit tons of snowtroopers inside of it. You can also fit some mini minifigures in this front area of it too, and it just looks so impressive. It is one of the biggest LEGO Star Wars sets ever, and I've wanted it ever since I got the UCS Millennium Falcon. When I was buying the UCS Millennium Falcon, I was really torn between the Falcon and the AT-AT. At the end of the day, I'm happy I went with the Falcon, but now that I've had the Falcon for a while, I think the AT-AT would look really nice on the display with it too. It looks so menacing. There's just so much detail in this set too. It just looks incredible. It's crazy how tall this set is too. It just, the amount of detail that they put into it is just absurd, and it's been a while since I built a huge LEGO Star Wars UCS set. The last one I built was the UCS Razor Crest back in late October, so I feel like I'm overdue for another one, and I feel like this will be the perfect one to add to my collection. I would end up putting it kind of on this UCS shelf that I already have. Down here, we've got the UCS Probe Droid, and we have a few other Hoth LEGO sets too that I think would look really great next to it. And then we also, of course, have the UCS Falcon over here and the UCS Razor Crest, so it would fit in very nicely with the kind of UCS area of my LEGO Star Wars collection. So hopefully I end up getting it in 2024, but who knows. Moving on to an arguably much more affordable LEGO set is the 2017, I think, LEGO Star Wars Awing Starfighter. I've got a lot of the Rebel Fleet Starfighters in my collection, and the only ones I'm missing are the A-Wing and the B-Wing, though I feel like I only have space for one, and I prefer the design of the A-Wing a whole lot more. I also really like the minifigures in this set, and I think the A-Wing and the 2017 version of this set just has a very sleek design to it. I honestly have no complaints with the set whatsoever. I think it's got a very clean look to it, and I think it'll integrate very nicely with the other Rebel ships in my display. Also, I really love the Lando Calrissian minifigure that you get included too. That is a huge bonus for this set, and then the A-Wing also has a really nice design to it as well too, and it'll really blend in with my other Rebel Fleet ships I have. Here's where we're going to put it, of course, with the Rebel Fleet. I really like what we have going on here, but there's room for one more set. I've got a display riser behind the Tantive 4 that I hope to display the A-Wing on, so I think this is definitely a much more realistic set that I'll be able to get in the new year, so I think that'll be a lot of fun to add to the collection, and I think it'll really kind of complete this Rebel section of the Star Wars display that we have going on over here. And then another kind of more realistic addition to the collection is a set I had always wanted as a kid, back when I was really into LEGO Ninjago. It's the 2012 Samurai XMech. I feel like this is just such an iconic LEGO Ninjago set. It's very cool, and it does not take up a whole ton of space, which is another big appeal for this set, is it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. I recently added some like very, very small additions to the LEGO Ninjago collection, and I love the 2012 wave of the LEGO Ninjago sets. So since I freed up a little bit of space in the Ninjago area, I wanted to add this to my collection because I think that would look really nice to kind of have that next to Ninjago City. At the very end here, we've got this very small section for it, so I hope it'll fit in there nicely, and it's not super expensive too, so I feel like we'll be able to get this by the end of the year. And then another LEGO Star Wars set that I want to add to my collection is the 2020 version of ObiWans Hunt. It's a very small set and recently retired, I think a few years back, so it's still kind of a new LEGO set, and it's a very simple set, but definitely one that I want to add to my collection. The main reason why is because it looks so good from the exterior, and I also really like the interior details of this set too, but the main appeal to this is I really want to add more to my Tatooine display, and I feel like this will be the perfect addition to my kind of Mos Eisley Cantina display and Tatooine display that I have going on my radiator. I would probably move around Trouble on Tatooine and the Lars family homestead to make space for it, but I think it could add for a nice little hut on the kind of outskirts of this Tatooine display, and I think it would fit in very nicely, so I think that's another set that I'm really hoping to get by the end of the year, but I guess we'll see how that goes. And then this next set is kind of a set I've always wanted in my LEGO collection. It's always been like that white whale set that I've wanted, but haven't been able to get my hands on. I feel like I have enough space for this in my collection, though, if I'm being completely honest, out of all of these sets on this list, this is probably one that I will not get. but I feel like it's kind of a maybe so I still wanted to include it in this video. It's a very expensive LEGO Star Wars set, and since I'm not 100% sure if I have space for it, I'm not 100% sold on the idea of buying it, but I wanted to leave the door open for it just in case. I think it's a really cool diorama set with tons and tons of play features too. Came out in 2012, and I really need to get more prequel LEGO Star Wars sets, and I feel like this is the perfect one to add. I think it's got a lot of cool play features inside of it. It's a very nice display piece. I love the kind of shuttle that we also get included in the set too, and it's honestly one of the best Revenge of the Sith LEGO Star Wars sets, and you also cannot beat the minifigure selection inside of the set. You get some great minifigures. I already have most of them in the set already, but it's great to get doubles of those rare minifigures, and I would plan to put it kind of in this dual area over here, maybe on a display riser, but who knows if we'll get it. And then the next set that is on this list is probably one of the sets that I'm going to get in the very near future. It is kind of the micro scale Hogwarts Castle. Since the kind of big UCS scale Hogwarts Castle is way too big and I cannot fit it into my collection, this is a great alternative to include Hogwarts in my LEGO collection. Recently, I've been really getting into the Harry Potter lineup of sets, and one thing that is missing from my LEGO Harry Potter collection is a proper Hogwarts display. I have Diagon Alley, and I have a few other sets from the Harry Potter universe, but I feel like no Harry Potter display is complete without a Hogwarts Castle in it, and seeing as this is much more affordable than the UCS Hogwarts Castle and is able to fit into a display space much easier, this is one that I'm going to get, and I have space for it right here next to Gringotts Bank, and I think it'll blend in really nicely with the Harry Potter display, and it'll finish that off pretty nicely, so I'm very excited to add this to the collection. This will probably be one of the first ones that I do end up buying, so I'm very excited to add that to the collection. I think it'll look really good in the Harry Potter section. And then another set I want to add to my LEGO collection this year is the kind of buildable General Grievous mech. I don't remember when this came out. I think it was around 2014, 2015 era, but I really like the look of this buildable mech. I'm not really a fan of the other ones in this series. They just don't really look nearly as good as the General Grievous one, and General Grievous is and has always been one of my favorite Star Wars characters in my collection, so why wouldn't I want this big UCS style General Grievous set? This set isn't super expensive either today too. It's somewhat affordable. The only problem is I don't really have space for it, but it is such a kind of like small set that I feel like it wouldn't be too terrible to find a spot for it. Ideally, I'd like to put it next to the General Grievous's Starfighter. I think that would be a really cool display piece, but I would probably end up just putting it on this small section of shelf over here that I was able to free up earlier in the month, but who knows? I guess I'll never really find out where it'll look best until I actually get my hands on it, but that's a set I've wanted for a while and might finally get in 2024. And then the final set that I want to add to my collection in 2024, there are of course several others that didn't make the list. These are just the ones I feel like are the most realistic additions to the collection, is the 2012 LEGO Ninjago Ultrasonic Raider set. I'm really kind of getting into like my nostalgic LEGO Ninjago collecting era, I guess. I'm trying to like get all of the sets that I missed out on as a kid, because I mainly only collected the spinners for LEGO Ninjago, but I was still really into the theme. I just only had money for the spinners. So I guess now, like 12 years later, I'm finally catching up with it. And this is one of the more iconic vehicles from the Ninjago 2012 lineup of sets, and I think it looks really cool. I love the Rise of the Snakes theme. I've got a lot of nostalgia for that and the very first season of Ninjago that they did with the skeleton, so I think this will be a fun addition to the collection. I would definitely like it for the nostalgia, and I think it's a unique looking LEGO set too, and it would integrate nicely into my LEGO Ninjago display. I would probably be able to find space with this alongside the Samurai XMech. I think they would look really cool next to the Ninjago City display. So those are all of the sets that I want to add to my collection this year. I think it's important to note this is in no particular order. If anything is number one, it's definitely the Death Star, but it's kind of just a big wish list. So definitely let me know what you guys thought of this format type of video. I'm trying to explore some new content ideas, so let me know what y'all thought of the video down in the comments. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you are new around here. But that is all for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.